Good morning. Welcome back to the Pantry Prepper. It's Amanda. And guys, today is Tuesday, the 29th. Yes, 29th of December. I have got this huge pot. I call it a cauldron. It looks like a cauldron anyway, of chicken slash turkey stock that I made on Sunday. I let it sit, and today's Tuesday. I need to can it up. I made a huge boo-boo, guys. This is actually the carcass off of our turkey from Thanksgiving, as well as I also, if I get chicken carcasses, I'll throw them in the freezer as well. And I mix them together. Well, the problem was, I added way too much water, even though I boiled it for at least 9 hours at a slow simmer like you're supposed to. It still tastes like more water than it does stock, which really frustrates me. So I don't want to throw it out. I mean, it smells like it tastes like it, but it's not that rich turkey broth that I'm used to getting. I was in a hurry. I didn't pay attention. It happens, but I don't want to throw this out because if you look at it, this holds 12 quarts, if I'm not mistaken, and I don't want to throw it out. So I need to find a way to make it have a lot more flavor, more of a broth flavor. So I had this in my cabinet. I've had it for the longest time. And I'm going to try it today. I don't know. It's basically a broth base with seasoning. It tastes all right, but like with other kind of broths or cubes that you get that have for broth or whatever, it has a high amount of sodium. Yes. And what I'm going to do, and it tastes so much like salt, it ain't funny. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to take some of that, add it in here, and see if I can get more of a rich flavor to it, more of a stock flavor to it than that I should have. But because I was in a hurry and whatnot, it didn't work. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and let this come to boil. I took it out of the refrigerator. I did leave, like I said, this was from a 15-pound carcass of a turkey, as well as, let's see, just a regular size chicken that I made, that we ate, and then I've got to keep the carcass, so we make broth out of it. And it had very little fat on it, so I'm going to leave it on there. It has been cooked down, strained. There is no meat in here. I've used cheesecloth. It should be perfect. And with that little amount of fat, it'll add flavor to it, but not enough. But it's still got more of a watery flavor, which, it bums me. But like I said, I'm going to do my best to save this. And the only thing I know how to do to save it would be add something to it, and this is going to be it. So let me bring this back up to pretty much almost a boil to get the flavor going, and then we'll add some of this to it. Let me show you what it looks like. This is what it looks like. But y'all, it's got, the only thing I'm concerned about, it's got so much sodium in it. It's like, which really kicks me. So I don't want to use a lot. I just want to add enough. And basically, this is just dehydrated chicken broth, poultry broth with a bunch of seasoning in it, but way too much sodium, y'all, way too much. So let me go ahead and see if I can save this pot of stock, because y'all, I should not have gotten in a hurry. I really wished I hadn't. Oh well, we'll come back and see what we can do with it. So while this is going on, that broth, this is something else I've got to work on today. Yeah, I have still got a ton of potatoes. We're getting closer to the bottom that you can see. And they're actually hard, even though they've got the eyes on them. But I want to take as many as I can and go ahead and clean the eyes up, clean them, and try to do another batch of freezer potatoes, which I did in my other video, because I don't have that much left. I could can these. I ain't going to lie to you. I don't like canned potatoes. I find them to be slimy, and I don't like the texture. Even though you can fry them up after you drain them and add flavor, and that's just not my thing. I prefer to keep them like this or to freeze them. If I didn't have a freezer, I would definitely can them, but that's my other alternative. And I also have these down here, which are tinier ones. Oh my goodness, a little piece of Christmas decoration. So this is probably, I'm guessing it's about a 10-pound bag of potatoes right now, literally. We do have, this is not the last, these are the last that we have inside. We do have probably, I want to say maybe 50 pounds, maybe a little more, that we have stored outside. And another method we're experimenting again this year. I'll try to bring those back to you. But right now, let me go ahead. This is slowly coming to a boil. I'm going to go ahead and add some of this and Let's see if I can fix this problem. All right, guys, I'm like so leery about doing this because I have no idea how it's going to taste. It ought to do something, but I don't really know what it will do. I'm going to go ahead and start with about 2 good tablespoons of it. Let's stir this up. It's already changing the color of it, but the color don't matter, it's the flavor. And you know what? Even though I strained this with cheesecloth and thought I got all the meat out of it, I didn't, because I found actually a quart jar that I had over there that had broth in it, and it had meat, and I forgot. So it doesn't matter. I'm pressure canning this anyway. Even if it does have a little bit of meat in it, it's no big deal. As long as you pressure can it at the same thing you would do for meat. Depending on whether you're doing pints or quarts, it will be okay. So, all right, that's kind of all mixed in. Oh, goodness. Let me see if I can taste this and see what it does. All right, even with 2 tablespoons, I can't taste any difference. So, yeah, I think I'm going to have to add some more. You know what? We're just going to take the whole thing and just kind of dump it in. Because I can't, if it gets worse, then what's the big deal, right? I mean, I already ruined it by not putting the right amount of water in it. So, anyway, let's get this stirred up. You know, does anybody else ever do problems like this? I've been canning turkey broth for years and years, and I've never had this problem. But I got way ahead of myself this year and just dipped too much water because I wasn't paying attention like I should have. And y'all, if this was something I really needed, that would have been a total waste. Or technically, I still would have canned it up just the way it was and ended up using it. It's just been a very weak, and I mean a very weak soup base or whatever I would put this broth in. So, yeah, taking your time is a good thing, but sometimes we get human as we are. All right, guys, it's still not good, so let's just go ahead and dump in. I can't believe I'm doing this. Whoops. About 3/4 of it. This is going to be very interesting. But like I said, I can't possibly make it any worse. I mean, nothing's worse than having to chuck something out and hope it adds flavor to it. It looks like it's adding flavor to it. Y'all, I know this is way too much broth for this big pot, but that's what I'm doing with. So get this stirred up. Yummy. It's starting to look better. All right, guys, I think that about did it. I basically had to use 3/4 of this. I could probably add a little bit more. Should I? I'm not sure if I should do it or not. It sure in the world ain't going to hurt anything. But anyway, at least now I know that I have found something to use to save my broth if I do this next time. Lord willing, I will pay more attention next time. But anyway, guys, instead of throwing stuff out if you mess up, try to find other ways to save it so we don't waste things. That's what I keep trying to teach myself. But I'll tell you one thing, it sure gave this a pretty color, didn't it? But it ain't the color that counts, it's the flavor. And it tastes better now than it did. At least it doesn't taste purely like water. You know what? I'm going to go ahead and dump the rest of it in. Yeah. Anyway, if you mess up, just find other ways to fix it. I'm going to go ahead and get the rest of this mixed in really well. I'm going to let it simmer for a while to give it a little more flavor. I don't have to. I'm just going to because I got to work on those potatoes over there. And then I will come back and I will can this up and I'll show you what the end product looks like. It's not what it looks like, though. It's what it tastes like. Yeah. So, anyway, let me go ahead and get this done. And when I get done canning, I will bring you back and show you. And Lord willing, after, maybe if it sits a while, it'll be better. Who knows? We'll see. So I'm back and I'm fixing to jar up every bit of my broth. I've already done one. This is what it looks like after I put all of this in it. Yeah, I put all, but even though I told you it had a lot of sodium, it doesn't taste like it, which is totally surprising because it's probably because I didn't add no salt to begin with. Here's what this jar looks like. You will see that right there is because I'm assuming because it's this particular type of seasoning that I use. Yeah, I'm not sure. But y'all, I'm going to go ahead and can this up. Got my canner heating up right now. I can get 7 quarts in it. And yeah, so simple as can be. Make sure your jars are washed, sterilized, clean. Take your broth and put it inside your jar. And just continue filling up these jars. And then I'll put them in the canner. And I'll bring them back and bring it back in a minute and just show you what it ends up looking like. And yeah, anything's better than throwing all this away. All right, guys, I'm back, and I've got the first 7-quart jars of my broth that have just come out. You can see they are still bubbling. They are pretty much still cooking. That's what's different from normal broth. It wouldn't be doing that had I not put this inside it, but I'm glad I did. Otherwise, I would have had to throw all of this out. How much did I end up getting? Here's 7-quart jars. And if you look here, you could probably hear it. I'm waiting for it to reach 11 pounds pressure. There are 5-quart jars and 1 pint jar. I'll do it for 25 minutes, 20 for pints, but 25 anyway, because I got more quarts than pints. But yeah, but anyway, this was a good way to salvage something that I would have normally throw it out. And I don't want to throw anything out now. So anyway, hope something here helps you guys. Thank you so much for stopping by the Pantry Prepper. Does anybody else like to hear those pings other than me? Thanks for watching. God bless.